All of us at Geringhoff would like to thank you for taking the time to view this video. You will find the information presented here to be informative and helpful in performing service to Geringhoff harvesting machines. Whenever servicing a Geringhoff product, please observe all safety decals and warnings. Use factory-supplied safety supports on the combine and the Geringhoff head. Use the proper safety equipment required for the task. This may include, but is not limited to, eye protection, foot protection, hearing protection, proper clothing, hand protection, proper tools, and other equipment and supplies as required for the service to be performed.
Hi, this is Geringhoff Product Support. Today we're going to talk to you about replacing the friction disc on a Horizon head. It's the disc located right here that protects the gearbox from anything that you might hit in the field that might stop the blades. So here's an example of a friction disc that has slipped, and it's actually gotten hot enough that it's stuck itself to the hub that it goes into. When you're getting the parts, there's two different kits you can get with the disc. The first kit is just these parts here. It's got the friction disc. It comes in this bag that's got some oil in it. When you first get this bag, you're going to be repairing it. Put a little more oil in it, let it soak so more, it's not going to hurt anything. And then you have some O-rings and some shims and a new nut. The other kit includes these other parts here, and this is probably the kit you would really probably want to have on hand, because quite often when this friction disc slips, it will damage either this hub here or this spring washer, and you'll need both parts. And if this disc has slipped a long time, it may even have damaged this bearing. So those are the two kits, and we'll show you how to replace them. So the first thing we need to do is take this nut off. And the nut is included in the kit. That's a Nylock nut. And we pull the hub off, the spring washer. Then we get our other hub off here. And then our friction disc. There's another O-ring in here. And if this bearing is bad, then you would have to pull this bearing and hub assembly off of this hub, and then you could replace the bearing in here. If it hasn't slipped too much, this bearing should be good, because this bearing only turns when the friction disc is let go and it's allowing the blades to spin freely. When we reassemble it on these two O-rings, you want to put some grease on it. It needs to be a non-graphite grease. So you put some grease on there. There's an O-ring that goes on this hub here. Put a little grease on it as well. Make sure that the disc is seated in the slot. Line it up on the lines here, push it back together. Like that. Now in that parts kit that comes, there are quite a few shim washers. I think there's 4 different ones in there. And the purpose of those washers determines how much pressure we're putting on this spring washer. So once it's back together, we would tighten this nut. And then we take our torque wrench and torque this nut to 147 foot-pounds. After we've torqued that, we want to test this friction disc to see how much pressure it takes to make this hub slip against that friction disc. We want it to slip at 85 foot-pounds. It can be 3.5 pounds less than that or 7 pounds more. And we determine, if we need to take out shims or add shims by whether it breaks within that range. We have a special tool for that. We have this tool here that will fit onto the hub of the drive here. And you need to block the row unit somehow so that it doesn't turn over when you put tension on it with the torque wrench. And this one's braking at about 90 pounds. But if it was braking less than that, we would take the nut back off and this hub off and put another shim in there. If it was braking at a lot more than that, same thing, we'd take this hub off and we'd remove a shim.
On behalf of Geringhoff Product Support, thanks for watching. And as always, if you have any questions about the video you just watched, you can contact us on our service hotline.